Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today, we are immersing ourselves in a really exceptional stack of sources. It's a single, sprawling narrative from the writer, Swapnil. And this text, it reads less like, traditional research and more like an emotional, almost cinematic screenplay. It charts a course that spans continents and some pretty deep cultural chasms.
It's an incredible body of work. And our mission today is really to go deep into this high-stakes journey of our protagonist, Raj. We're tracing his path from the familiar chaotic hum of Mumbai all the way to the passionate artistic pulse of Barcelona.
And the core question we're tackling is, what happens when a deep, almost spiritual love for football becomes the catalyst for escaping, well, immense financial and familial responsibility?
Exactly. And it leads to this incredible cultural transformation and a really unexpected love story.
That opening setup is it's everything. We start with Raj in Mumbai, a man who is absolutely defined by the expectations of his middle-class life. He carries this heavy, silent pressure to be the one who stabilizes the family, the one who, as the text says, must never fall short of expectations. This isn't just a financial reality for him, it's a foundational stressor. It shapes every single decision he makes.
And that context is so vital because it elevates his trip to Camp Nou beyond just, a simple vacation. The text actually describes it as Raj's investment in happiness.
I love that phrase.
Me too. Let's just linger on that for a second. It's not just a budget line item. It is a calculated, almost desperate allocation of scarce resources for his mental and emotional survival.
So he's walking this incredibly fine line between dreams and reality. He knows that if this trip fails, if that investment doesn't pay off, the fallout back home could be just massive.
It's significant, yeah.
So let's unpack the atmosphere that really defines Raj's world. The source material paints this incredibly intimate picture of his nightly routine, and it just demonstrates the weight of his obligation.
You really feel it.
You do. We're with him in the quiet hum of his laptop, the faint rustle of paper as he meticulously tracks every single rupee. And you can almost smell the coffee mixing with the low thrum of Mumbai's late-night traffic filtering through his window.
It's an atmosphere of intense contemplation and, financial anxiety. And that ambiance is there to show us that Raj isn't just saving for fun. He is budgeting against fear.
Right.
His entire identity is built around being the stabilizer, the one who made sure the dreams didn't fall apart. So this need for absolute pragmatism, it's his armor, but it's also his cage.
A cage that is immediately challenged by the presence of his best friend, Arjun.
Oh, Arjun.
Arjun is the perfect foil here. He's introduced as the classic carefree dreamer, the believer in chances, whose easy smile, we're told, masks a quiet storm of uncertainties.
A great line. He carries a significantly lighter emotional and financial load, which immediately sets up this central tension when they try to plan their pilgrimage to Spain.
Precisely. So while Raj is painstakingly calculating exchange rates and figuring out how to stretch every last penny, Arjun just dismissively waves his hand and says, budget schmudget.
And it's not just carelessness, it's a philosophical difference. Arjun prioritizes the spontaneous, memorable experience above all else. He sees rigid planning as the enemy of adventure.
And nothing encapsulates that difference quite like the one detail Arjun fixates on. Raj wants to stick to economy seats. Arjun is insistent on splurging on VIP.
And the reason why is just perfect.
Why? Because VIP tickets come with the ultimate luxury, in Arjun's view.
Plus, VIP tickets come with free nachos, man.
Free nachos. It's a hilarious detail, but it's also profoundly grounding, isn't it? It shows that for Arjun, the value isn't a slightly better view or quicker entry. It's the sheer indulgence of something free in a premium setting.
Right. And for Raj, this is the ultimate symbol of Arjun's recklessness. Raj is worried about making rent, and Arjun is chasing the fleeting joy of complimentary snacks. It tells us so much about the chasm between their approaches to life.
Yet despite this constant tension, the foundation of their relationship is, it's ironclad. It was cemented not in a bank or on a spreadsheet, but on those makeshift Mumbai football fields.
Oh, absolutely. And we get these wonderful grounding anecdotes, like the time they literally broke a neighbor's window trying to perfectly recreate one of Messi's physics-defying free kicks.
I can just picture it.
Those are the moments that define a true lifelong friendship. And there's a great bit of history there that underscores their passion. Arjun was actually the one who convinced Raj to defect from Real Madrid.
No way.
Yes, to switch his allegiance to Barcelona. It wasn't an easy sell, but Raj eventually succumbed to what he calls Messi's irresistible dribbles and, the magnetic appeal of the tiki-taka style.
So this shared passion, this spiritual devotion to the club, it becomes their common language.
It does. But if we dig into the why of Barcelona for Raj, it really moves beyond the players entirely. For him, Barcelona is almost sacred.
He tells Arjun, it's not just about the players, it's the city.
Right. Football's more than a game there. It's part of the culture. It's the heartbeat of the city.
That's a crucial distinction. For Arjun, it's a vacation, a blast, a chase for free nachos. For Raj, it's a search for meaning.
Exactly. He's seeking a place where his intense passion isn't just a distraction from his duties, but is fully integrated into the social and cultural fabric. In Mumbai, his dreams feel like an expense. In Barcelona, he hopes they'll be a truth.
And that really sets the high expectation for the rest of the narrative. This journey is a search for self-discovery and transformation, not just a sporting pilgrimage.
Which makes Raj's anxiety about potential failure all the more palpable. This isn't just about a vacation budget anymore. This is about whether he can truly level up his life or if the burdens of home will just follow him across the globe.
He's taken the leap, but he's terrified of falling.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's make the jump. They've landed, they've made it across. And the source material just immediately overwhelms us with the sensory immersion of Barcelona. They arrive at Estacio de Sants, and the city just hits them like a physical force.
It is an immediate, beautiful sensory overload. The text describes Las Ramblas greeting them like a living entity, an intoxicating symphony of scents, sounds, and colors.
You can just picture the narrow street and smell that incredible complex aroma. The sweet, sizzling churros from La Boqueria mixing with the sharp, salty sea air, all of it underpinned by city exhaust. It's a vibrant chaos that is just utterly new to Raj.
And the soundscape is just as intense, that harmonious mix of Catalan, Spanish, and English. They are plunged into this vibrant, overwhelming environment, and, well, naturally, this external chaos immediately highlights their internal, conflicting approaches to travel.
Oh, the tension surfaces right away.
Yeah.
Arjun, true to form, wants the postcard moment first. Sagrada Familia, Gaudi's towering, unfinished masterpiece.
Of course he does.
But Raj, the intellectual seeking the city's roots, he insists on prioritizing the Gothic quarter, which he sees as the soul of the city, with its history whispering through those narrow medieval streets.
And this is where Raj's shift starts to manifest, isn't it? Raj, the meticulous planner, is suddenly arguing for pure, unplanned experience. His frustration boils over. We don't have to do everything by the book. It's about the experience.
He's looking past the famous, easy monuments towards the complexity and history. He's adopting Arjun's desire for spontaneity, even if he doesn't realize it yet.
The psychological shift there is fascinating. Raj spent months trying to control every variable, the budget, the savings, the dates. Now, faced with this beautiful, overwhelming lack of control in Barcelona, his rigid boundaries start to soften.
He's fighting his own nature.
He is. He's arguing for the very thing he spent his life avoiding, the unpredictable. They manage to agree on a compromise, but the air is still thick with their conflicting expectations.
And then the universe throws this massive, cruel curveball at the man who relies on planning above all else.
Oh, this part is brilliant.
They reach Camp Nou, the spiritual center of their pilgrimage, ready for the stadium tour, and the tickets are gone.
Poof, vanished. This is the peak of delicious irony in the narrative. Raj, the man defined by his meticulous preparation, is undone by a small, inexplicable logistical failure.
The pragmatic foundation he built their entire trip on, the one he sacrificed so much for, suddenly just crumbles. You have to feel that rising panic, Raj's internal scream of failure. He's failed his own self-imposed rules. He has failed the investment.
He immediately assumes the worst, that the trip is ruined, that he should have just stayed home and saved the money. And that frustration, that sense of failure, it opens the door to true spontaneity, but only because his own plans are now completely useless.
And this vacuum of failure is perfectly filled by the arrival of Elena. The writer, Swapnil, introduces her with such vivid detail. Fiery red hair, radiating magnetic confidence, and possessing an infectious laughter.
She's a local guide who immediately just cuts through the tension by calling them clueless tourists.
She is the necessary shift in tone and energy. She steps in not just to fix the immediate problem, the missing tickets, but to rescue them from the emotional pit they've just dug themselves into.
Mm-hmm. And her passion for the city and its football history immediately dissolves the earlier tension between Raj and Arjun. She gives them a shared external focus.
And she doesn't just put them on another bus tour. She guides them beyond the guidebook. She shows them the real Barcelona.
Right. She takes them through that dizzying maze of the Gothic quarter that Raj originally craved, and the quiet, tragic beauty of Plaza San Felipe Neri, where history, specifically the scars of the Civil War, echoes in every corner.
And this just emphasizes that critical, universal theme of the narrative, the value of local connection over a prepared itinerary. Elena's presence transforms the experience from a tourist pilgrimage into an authentic cultural immersion.
Totally. She introduces them to Gracia, the less touristy bohemian neighborhood, showing them the small, quiet, intimate moments that truly reveal the city's soul, which is exactly what Raj was searching for all along.
It's fascinating, too, how she connects their passion for Barcelona back to Raj's life in Mumbai. She points out that the complexity, the blend of old and new, are similar, just expressed differently.
And with Elena's presence, the focus begins to shift irrevocably, doesn't it? It moves from the pilgrimage of football fandom to the highly personal connection forming between Raj and this embodiment of Catalonian passion.
As their immersion deepens, the narrative successfully shifts from the external chaos of the city to the internal emotional intimacy of a budding love. The pace slows way down, and the grand architecture of Barcelona suddenly feels incredibly personal.
Well, the grand city becomes intimate through these shared moments. Elena and Raj explore at sunset, finding what she calls the hidden piece of the city, maybe at Park Güell, where she notes that watching the sunset makes the whole city feels like it's holding its breath.
That stillness, it's
Yeah.
such a profound contrast to the relentless energy of Mumbai that Raj just left behind.
And this intimacy deepens further at Barceloneta Beach. Elena describes the significance of the sea air. It has the ability to remind you of who you are, to clear your mind.
It's a shared moment of vulnerability, and it forces Raj to confront the heavy silence and contemplation that usually dominates his life. He realizes he hasn't just escaped Mumbai's noise, he's escaping his own anxiety.
And Elena reciprocates this vulnerability by sharing a really profound piece of her personal history. They're standing near Casa Batlló, and she reveals that Barcelona is rooted in her family. Her father used to bring her there every weekend, telling her stories.
Wow.
She states it plainly. Barcelona is about family, about memories. She is literally walking in his footsteps, and by sharing this, she's giving Raj the keys to her world, inviting him into her history.
Sharing history is sharing love. But just as this bond solidifies, the tension reappears. But this time it's psychological. Arjun's phone call breaks the moment.
And Raj's crippling insecurity just rushes to the surface. He starts to question if he can truly fit in. He looks at the easy, lifelong, unspoken bond between Elena and Arjun and feels like an outsider.
He sees them almost as two halves of a whole, tied by a common history and culture that he just doesn't share.
That feeling of being on the outside, peering into an established, perfect relationship, it's a massive emotional hurdle for Raj. He's navigating not just the geography of a new continent, but the emotional landscape of someone else's lifelong connections. He's wondering if he's just a fleeting adventure for her.
And that's where Elena's reassurance becomes so vital. She senses his doubt, the silent pressure of his Mumbai pragmatism, telling him this can't possibly be real, and she gently but firmly challenges it.
She says, "You're not an outsider. Arjun is like a brother to me, but that doesn't change what we're building. We're building something new together."
That's powerful. It's an assertion that history is great, but they are focused on the future.
And this leads Raj to a really powerful, reflective moment where he contrasts the two cities again. Mumbai is chaotic, always running, always in search of the next thing.
Whereas Barcelona is rooted. Its history is whispering through every old building.
And his realization is profound. Finding love isn't just about the rush of new emotions. It's about the hard work of integration. It's about unraveling the threads of Elena's life, understanding her history, and maybe learning how to fit into it.
He realizes the true challenge wasn't saving the money for the trip. It's building a life that can span two very, very different worlds. He has to commit to her roots if he wants to share her future.
The moment Raj has this realization, the clock starts ticking. He knows the trip is almost over, and he will not allow Elena to slip away.
So this emotional urgency compels him toward the grand, definitive gesture.
And his characteristic pragmatism returns, but this time it's channeled into romantic planning. He spends the next morning scouting and strategizing. He chooses a simple, vintage sapphire ring, her favorite color, which is meant to symbolize the complex, enduring nature of their connection rather than, just flash and expense.
And the choice of location. It's magnificent in its symbolism. Camp Nou.
Right where it all began.
It's the site of their first connection, the drama of the lost tickets, and it's the spiritual home of their shared passion for football. This is meant to be the cinematic climax of their shared pilgrimage.
And it creates that perfect tension. Raj drops to one knee, feeling the immense weight of the moment, the murmuring crowd, his quickening pulse, the distant cheers from a training pitch. He delivers the speech he's clearly rehearsed in his head.
You've filled my life with laughter, love, and a sense of adventure. I cannot imagine my future without you in it.
It's everything he's meant to say, set in the most public, defining location imaginable. But then comes the brilliant human twist that the writer, Swaknel, injects into this high-stakes moment.
Elena's reaction is not immediate tears and surrender. It's amusement, surprise, and a perfect dose of Catalonian honesty.
She looks at the scene, the monumental stadium, the public stage, and she asks him, "But really, a proposal in the middle of a stadium, you know I'm more of a quiet, intimate moment kind of girl, right?"
And Raj, the meticulous man who planned his entire financial life, suddenly realizes he miscalculated the intimacy of the gesture. His cheeks flush crimson. He went too big, too dramatic, completely missing the mark on her personal preference.
This vulnerability, his complete perfectionism failing in the one moment that matters most, is what makes the story so deeply human. It forces him out of his rehearsed shell.
He quickly gathers himself, holds out the sapphire ring with pure conviction, and admits the setting might be wrong, but the feeling isn't.
He has to trust the spontaneity and authenticity of his love overriding the planned spectacle. His conviction triumphs over his initial logistical error.
And the moment is sealed by her genuine, infectious laughter, which mixes with the echoes of the game playing nearby. It makes the proposal unforgettable, precisely because it was awkward and honest, not because it was perfect.
It's the perfect resolution to their earlier dynamic conflicts. It's the blend of Raj's determination and Elena's spontaneous, honest reaction solidified by their shared passion. They make a promise to build something enduring, ready to face all challenges together, armed with conviction, shared humor, and the knowledge that sometimes the best moments are the messy ones.
So the proposal is a triumph, but the real work, the integration, begins immediately. They return to Mumbai, married and deeply in love, and the narrative just instantly shifts into cultural collision mode.
Oh, yes. For Elena, the transition is a sensory assault.
The contrast is immediate and overwhelming. The cool, deliberate pace of Barcelona is replaced by the bustling chaos of the Mumbai airport.
Elena is hit by an explosion of sound, heat, persistent honking, and this intense mix of street food aromas clashing with heavy exhaust fumes. The city feels intoxicating and alien simultaneously.
She's wide-eyed and a little overwhelmed, just clinging to Raj. She admits she's terrified, unsure if she can survive this intense environment. And Raj has to constantly verbally reassure her, this is home now too.
The weight of this massive cultural shift rests so heavily on her shoulders. This is a tremendous emotional leap for her. She's gone from a place of deep cultural grounding to a place where everything is unpredictable and loud. Despite Raj's love, she must immediately face the high emotional stakes of adaptation.
And those stakes shoot right through the roof when they face Raj's family. The parents initially greet them with warmth and immense pride, the father's big bear hug, the mother's tight embrace for her son. The excitement is palpable.
Until Raj drops the bombshell.
He drops it with a voice thick with uncertainty. Elena and I, we got married in Barcelona.
And that is the moment where the warmth is instantly frozen. The parents' faces literally drain of color, and the unspoken contract of familial interdependence is just shattered.
This is where we need to analyze the specific cultural conflict. This isn't just about a surprise wedding. It's about Raj violating the foundational trust and tradition of his family structure.
In many middle-class Indian families, marriage is not just a union between two people. It's an alliance between two families, requiring meticulous planning, consultation, rituals that can span months.
And Raj just bypassed all of that. The father's anger is immediate and pointed. Married. You went to Barcelona for a few days and you came back married. Just like that, without telling us.
He feels Raj has publicly shamed the family by excluding them from the most defining rite of passage. It is the ultimate violation of that silent pressure to never fall short of expectations.
And the mother's concern is perhaps even more deeply rooted in the cultural implications. She focuses on the process, making an important decision without involving us. They feel cut out, irrelevant, robbed of their parental duty and privilege.
The father then directs a sharp accusatory question straight at Elena, making her the outsider scapegoat. Did you even think about how they might feel about all of this?
He's questioning her understanding of Indian family values, implying she convinced Raj to behave recklessly.
And Elena, fighting back tears, has to stand her ground. She expresses her love for Raj and her determination to make him happy. But the mother's response is the sobering truth of the cultural divide. I understand, Elena, but love isn't always enough.
That is a pivotal realization. In Raj's world, love is only the start of the process. The rest is hard work, adaptation, and demonstrating respect for the established structure.
Elena realizes her determination and spontaneity, which were assets in Barcelona, are now liabilities in Mumbai. She must find the strength to navigate these cultural traditions to truly fit into the fabric of this family. The honeymoon is definitively over. The work has begun.
The confrontation is settled, but the emotional conflict lingers. We now enter the gritty reality of adaptation. Elena faces daunting daily challenges that the text details so vividly.
Oh yeah, the relentless, suffocating noise that never seems to stop, the linguistic isolation of struggling with Hindi, and the hours spent trying to decipher Mumbai's volatile, unpredictable public transportation system.
She is utterly unmoored. Her entire known framework is gone, and the source material beautifully highlights Raj's crucial role here. He is her constant through all of this, providing the necessary quiet anchor against the constant chaos.
She is facing the overwhelming reality of cultural transplantation head-on, fueled only by her determination and her love for Raj.
And slowly, almost imperceptibly, the parental disapproval begins its long, slow thaw. Initially, Raj's parents view her as a disruption, this force that dragged their son away from tradition, but they start to notice the sheer effort she's making.
And the shift is rooted in pragmatism, which is so key to Raj's family's identity. Raj's mother begins to admire Elena's grace in handling the overwhelming circumstances. She doesn't complain, she just keeps dreading.
And the father, the ultimate pragmatist, starts respecting her grit and her fierce focus on the real work of integration. She's demonstrating substance, proving she's not merely a flighty romantic, but someone capable of serious commitment.
This perseverance yields professional results, which is hugely important for her agency within Mumbai. She secures a job offer as a restaurant consultant, specializing in the delicate art of blending Spanish flavors with traditional Indian dishes.
This is a crucial professional triumph because it's a tangible, practical example of cultural fusion in action. She is not erasing her roots, she is integrating them.
This success provides her with a respected role within Mumbai society, and it gives the parents something concrete to admire. Her confidence grows even as the high-pressure environment of the Indian kitchen full of rapid-fire Hindi orders and frantic energy proves incredibly daunting.
But the true, deep emotional breakthrough, the moment of profound familial acceptance, it doesn't happen during a formal ceremony or a grand speech. It happens in the kitchen.
Right. Raj's mother, struggling with a particularly complicated recipe, finally, hesitantly, asks Elena for help.
Cooking becomes the common language that transcends culture, language, and that initial resentment. The two women work side by side, Raj watching this silent, pivotal moment. Their movements, initially hesitant, start growing in sync.
It's a beautiful metaphor for their cultural merging.
And then Raj's mother does the unthinkable. She praises Elena's technique. This isn't just about the food. It's the official acceptance of Elena's talent, her personality, and her commitment into the family fabric.
The quiet validation is stronger than any formal approval they could have given. Raj's father confirms this later, noting that he now admires Elena more than I thought possible.
They are no longer two outsiders facing a hostile environment. They are two halves merging their worlds. This success allows them to look forward, strengthened by their navigation of Mumbai's profound uncertainties and their ultimate plan. A return pilgrimage to Barcelona to revisit the origin of their love and the risks they took.
The journey completes its cycle as Elena's now celebrated talent. That fusion cuisine honed in Mumbai catapults them back toward Europe.
Her work is spotted by a renowned Barcelona chef during a visit to Mumbai, leading to a coveted position at his prestigious restaurant.
It's the ultimate narrative validation. They started with Raj's modest investment in happiness, seeking simple football tourism. Now they are moving back to Barcelona, not as tourists, but as professionals, shifting from seeking street food to achieving haute cuisine success.
Barcelona, the city of dreams, is now the place of professional realization.
And Raj finds his calling right alongside her professional ascent. Moving from being the devoted, anxious fan, he shifts to mentor, taking a coaching position at a local football academy. He is shaping young minds, instilling the same devotion that defined his own youth.
His role has fundamentally changed. He is no longer the burdened accountant saving up for a ticket. He's a participant, a guide, true mentor. He considers himself the game's most devoted priest, proving that his initial emotional investment paid enormous spiritual dividends.
But despite this professional triumph in Barcelona, the narrative refuses to offer a simple fairy tale ending. It acknowledges the lingering complex weight of distance and identity.
Right, the distance weighs heavily. Raj's frequent phone calls to his parents back in India sometimes feel like a lifeline, a connection he struggles to grasp fully across the geographical divide.
And Elena, despite her success and her love for the beauty of Barcelona, she misses the chaotic comfort and familiar warmth of her family's home in Mumbai.
This friction forces a profound realization. They're not just adapting to Catalan culture, they are actively bringing the heartbeat of Mumbai to Barcelona. They realize that their identity is no longer confined to a single place.
The Gothic quarter's narrow alleys, which Raj was so desperate to explore earlier, become a metaphor for their own journey. Just like those complicated streets hold layers of history and culture, their relationship now holds the complex layers of two continents, the traditional weight of Mumbai and the spontaneous beauty of Barcelona.
The ultimate sign of their integration and peace comes in the tranquility of Park Güell. Surrounded by Gaudi's vibrant, colorful mosaics, they reflect on their individual and mutual growth.
And Barcelona is no longer just an idealized dream or a pilgrimage site based on fandom. It has become the place where they successfully reconcile their past duties with their future aspirations. They realize that home isn't a fixed geographical point, but a space they actively create together, a beautiful, complex fusion of rooted history and chaotic comfort.
They found their center by risking everything and jumping into the unpredictable.
What an incredible journey captured by Swapnil. Raj and Elena's story is a profound look at how personal dreams, initially seen as an escape from responsibility, ultimately become the vehicle for the greatest responsibility of all, building a shared life.
They proved how cultural differences can eventually become the source of extraordinary personal and professional strength.
And this narrative is so compelling because it focuses relentlessly on the humanity of the situation. It's the unforgettable details, the obsession with VIP nachos, the missing tickets, the hilariously awkward public proposal that made the grand journey so deeply relatable and real.
And it forces us to return to Raj's initial calculation. His true investment in happiness wasn't the savings he meticulously tallied on his laptop back in Mumbai. That was just the entry fee.
No, the true investment was the sheer emotional and geographical risk he took. It was the decision to embrace spontaneity and love above planning and duty, even when he knew that decision would lead to a painful cultural confrontation back home.
It was the leap of faith, culminating in that public, awkward, but undeniably authentic proposal.
Which leaves us with this final, provocative thought for you to consider. Raj spent his life dedicated to planning and caution. He was terrified of failure. But when does cautious planning become living in fear, and what truly unforgettable moment? What foundational truth about yourself are you risking by not embracing a bit of spontaneity and taking that leap of faith into the unpredictable?